Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishnan. Basically, today we are going to talk about the text box part. Basically, in previous, basically part one, basically we had seen actually what is the text box actually, up to what level one text box can do basically. So this is basically part two of that basically. So basically today we are going to discuss about the text box basically. Text box actually, if I say that text box, that normal text box which is basically getting display in the web browser, and web browser is basically created from .NET, PHP, Python, then SAP basically, and many technologies are there. In desktop also text box are getting used. Salesforce is there, and basically COBOL is there, FoxPro is there, .NET is there, then basically D2K is there, Visual Basic is there. So basically whatever, wherever the text box is getting used, if I say that this text box is get created from 1000 cities, then basically nobody can believe this. Yeah, this is correct basically. So today we are going to talk about this only in detail, little bit detail about, and this also basically is going to cover in many parts basically. So basically we are talking about the text box which is created from more than 1000 cities basically. So basically we are going to talk little bit detail about this topic. So basically, this topic is connected with this chief CEOs. CEOs basically have is must supposed to understand this. Vice president of the software company is supposed to understand this. Director basically are supposed to understand this topic basically, and this topic is related to that only basically. To the company owner by default basically have to understand this because it's his money basically is going to be invested in the certain parts basically in text box basically his money has been used in this text box everything. So basically we are going to talk about this also, and then basically if I say that one text box is created from 1000 cities, right? And the one from 1000 cities there are some 10 to 20 cities basically that basically creates vegetables, means that city's energy when basically dumps into this text box, that basically creates vegetables basically. So basically in simple language I will tell, the in simple language is basically it's like that. uh, there are 30 cities basically, and that 30 cities basically contains more than 1000 buildings. So that 1000 buildings basically are going to generate vegetable energies. In vegetable energies, I will take one small example. It's a potato energy, basically. So whatever energy that the 30 cities is going to generate, that is basically 1000 buildings, which is going to generate that energy is of vegetable. Then in vegetable, the potato energy is going to generate. So basically, this potato energy is going to dump into many power plants and many energy companies. In that, basically, the set of process happens and then basically dumps into nuclear plants, and many nuclear plants are also there. And then basically, after that, basically, set of process happen, and then the potato chemicals gets creates, and then basically potato basically you can say it's gets created, and basically this process can be totally different also, vice versa also this is possible, because process basically it's very tough process basically. So basically uh, like this also the potato creation might can be happen basically. So basically from 30 city 30 city from the text box, just from text box is created from 1000 cities, and thousand cities basically there are 30 cities which are basically used for, in 30 cities 1000 buildings are basically getting used for potato creation basically. So basically nobody will believe this basically, but this is fact basically. From you one text box basically you can create set of vegetables also. So that is basically, this is just one example of vegetable, but in real fact basically you can create everything whatever human needs basically are getting created. That each and every, basically previous day basically all the natural resources were getting used basically. So basically all natural resources were getting used. So basically the somebody told that the natural resources is going to be over. So basically when natural resources is getting over, so basically you have to find some alternative, right? So basically you can't die like this. Basically if natural resources getting over, then basically people can't die basically. So government have to think something alternative. So basically alternative was this. That was basically from software energies. Basically you can generate the human needs. Basically that are human needs are petrol, oil, vegetables, fruits. Then basically construction, buildings, materials. Basically water also you can create from software energies. So basically there are many utilities which you can basically many human needs also which you can create from the software energies. In software energy one, this text box is one small part basically. You can this text box which is getting display, from the text box you can generate vegetable energy, and that is potato energy basically. So this is basically just small example of the human needs which is going to create, which basically which has created actually many potatoes has been also created, and we have used also. So basically many softwares, if I say this CRM software of this particular company has created a potato, then it would not be wrong basically. It is 100% correct basically. So now basically we are talking about so this is over basically. In detail, basically we are going to discuss this. So basically there will be many parts of this basically. Now here basically it's a subscription part. Basically. Subscription means Microsoft Corporation basically which displays their text box in the Microsoft all the products basically that are .NET, ASP, Visual Basic. So basically wherever you see that text box has to pay in that text box is getting display just on the base of subscription basically. So Microsoft have to pay some certain amount in certain duration, then only the text box is going to display in that Microsoft product basically. So basically assume that there are 20 to 30 lakh Microsoft project which is already created in Microsoft products that are .NET, Visual Basic, and many ASP, and many Microsoft control products are there. So there basically they have used this text box. So basically if 20 to 30 lakh projects are there, then basically there are more than basically you can say 1 to 2 crore text box basically you can say. Just minimum amount minimum number basically I am giving. So 1 to 2 crore text box is getting display in Microsoft product. So basically to display that text box basically Microsoft have to pay, matlab Microsoft is paying the subscription amount of the text box basically. So text box is one subscription basically you can say, which basically gets activated in certain time period basically. So Microsoft have to pay some certain amount so that basically that all projects can able to view that text box. So basically in simple language basically we will talk that Microsoft have to pay certain amount as a monthly or quarterly subscription amount to display the text box in their websites in their project basically. So basically we are going to talk little bit detail about this text box, up to what level this text box is in next video, in next part 3 basically.